Okay, Lisa, what happened with you and your wife, man? Somebody laid their hands on your kids?
I wasn't there. This is all, I'm going to relay it as it was relayed to me I'm going to try not to exaggerate. I don't know if my wife did or not. So I came home from hanging out with a friend, and my wife had taken our kids to Stars and Stripes and like bowling arcade or whatever. And
you have 3 lovely children.
3 lovely children, and she went with
2 lovely children and the other one.
No, they're all pretty lovely.
I'm not going to mention which one I think is the other one.
Okay.
I'm playing.
That's fine. And they went with some neighbors and a bunch of their kids. So there was like a gang of them. And so they went and they bowled. And then afterwards, I guess you get like, they give you like a gift card or a game card like to play after. So
there's
you're
an
done
arcade
bowling
there that they can play stuff.
Yeah, and then they have a bunch of stuff. And
it's
so,
not like back in the day when you were using quarters and coins. Now it's a little card where
it's a rechargeable card.
Yeah, rechargeable card. I love it.
That's a hustle. That's a hustle right there. You don't realize what you're spending. I mean, just another swipe. You're not pulling the cash out of your pocket. They don't even take cash.
Yeah.
Like, use your card.
It's a little bit like when your last Netflix show happens also, and you're depressed because you didn't know it was coming. It's the same as those cards. You swipe again, and then there's that disappointment of like, oh, no.
No credits.
No credits.
No credits.
It shows up red on the little slide.
Tells the whole place.
Yeah.
Mama,
Loser.
Mama, I'm out of credits, Mama.
Mama, we're poor. Mama.
Fill up my card. So I guess they were running around. The kids had their cards, and my wife is standing there with some of the other neighbors. And I guess my son Kai and his friend were, I don't know, they weren't roughhousing, but they were kind of like going to the next game. And my son kind of like leaned up against this guy that was sitting on like a stool, like watching an adult. Yeah, like a man, like a full grown man baby, sitting on this stool, watching his kid play. And I guess my son got a little close to him. And so instead of like going, whoa, like putting his hands on his shoulder, like, oh, like,
hey, personal space, buddy.
Yeah, well, you're not even saying that. Just excuse me, He kind of like used his hands and like pushed. Like,
he pushed your son?
Pushed him.
Yeah.
And tell her, how old's your son again?
He's 12.
And this is a grown man.
A grown man.
And a kid he's at a place where there's a ton of kids.
Yeah.
Bowling, like a massive arcade area. And a kid actually, accidentally invades his personal space. And instead of turning around and, I don't know, using words and communicating with the child, he shoved the child.
Yeah. And I mean, my wife says, close fist. Like, pushed him.
Oh,
now,
closed fist pushed him.
Yeah.
I've never even seen that before.
Me either.
Yeah, like why? Why not just like kind of catch him, lightly and be like, excuse me, and
or even just a light Heisman touch. Just going, excuse me.
Right. Because he's about to fall. Maybe my son was about to fall into him. But like as my wife says, like closed fist pushed him, and where my son didn't fly forward, but he definitely like
A little momentum.
Yeah, got a little momentum in the direction from where the fists were aiming him. And then the same guy like grabbed my son's friend by the arm. And so my wife is sitting there watching.
Mama Bear. Here we go, Mama Bear.
And basically goes up to him and goes, excuse me, keep your hands off of my son. And I mean, these are kids. And then the dude's wife told her, I'll see you next Tuesday. Like,
called her that?
Oh. No, she didn't. At Stars and Stripes?
I'm telling you. And like, so my wife, she kept, like, I'm proud of her because she kept her composure.
Those are people you don't want to mess with, because now that's like, when somebody has that visceral of a reaction, that's, I see like danger signs everywhere.
Yeah. But my wife was like, started berating her about using that language in front of like there are kids here.
Yeah.
Like there's no absolute reason to talk like that. And so it was going back and forth. But she was so heated up, and I was like, was it really a push? She's like, he used his closed fist. I was like, well, you did the right thing. You stood up for him. Like,
now I'm not saying what she's saying is not accurate, okay? But when it's your own child, I would love to see the security cameras to see if what she was feeling is really what happened, because I would be the same way. Even a slight push to me would feel like a World Wrestling Federation takedown.
Yeah, it's just like one of those things. It's like when you take a picture with a girl, you don't grope the girl, you know? I mean, it's just like if a kid's going to run into you, you don't, you know, you just kind of capture them and go, excuse me. Yeah. It's like a gentle, like you don't close your fists and just.
I don't know.
Like,
if you're part of a family where the wife is using the C word like that, I tend to believe the whole family might be
white trash.
A little.
The Bert Show.